Hello everyone. My name is Ashish Jagdale. I'm a data analyst at CloudFronts. And today in this session, I'll be having with me my colleague Kailash and Anil Shah, a CEO and managing partner, who will be interacting with me in this session. Let's have a look for today's agenda. First, we'll have a quick recap on the previous webinars conducted in the last 3 months. Then we'll see how we can import Excel Power BI artifacts in Power BI Desktop tool. Then we'll have a look on the new capabilities in Query Editor. Then we'll have additional Power BI new features, which are basically the September updates. We'll have a look on how to implement that features. And finally, we'll see how to schedule refresh using Power BI Personal Gateway for on-premise data sources. So let's get started. First, a quick recap. So we had a webinar in June 2015 that was about what's new in Power BI. So during that, Power BI was still in the preview mode. So we had discussed briefly what is Power BI, what is Power BI Online, what is a Power BI Designer tool. We had also compared Power BI with Power BI for Office 365. We have also seen the architecture diagram and features. You can get the recording at the YouTube link mentioned over here. Also, we have seen about the Power BI deep dive features and real-time analytics. In the last month, we have seen how we can connect real-time dashboard using the REST API.
All right. So Ashish, these webinars, especially the one in June, was at a time when Power BI, the new Power BI was still not released. So we talked about Power BI for Office 365. But the one in August, which was right after Power BI was released, I think end of July, and the real-time analytics actually was pretty cool because it went through using the Power BI REST API. And I think we used CRM as a data source, and we got the data from CRM in real time into our Power BI dashboards. And I think this was for sales pipeline data. And we saw during that session that when we updated one of our leads and opportunities, it actually reflected that in real time. So good webinars, good content. So let's get started with today's webinar.
Yes, Anil. Let's get started. So to start with, we'll have a first we'll have a look on how to import Excel Power BI artifacts into the Power BI Desktop tool. So why this feature is required? So earlier, prior to the release of this feature, we need to manually rework on the Excel file to get your data models, to get your Power BI reports, to get all your queries into the Power BI Desktop tool so that you can leverage the use of new features in Power BI Desktop. But with the introduction of this feature in Power BI, you can directly import your Excel worksheet into the desktop tool with the help of few clicks. So we'll have a look with the help of a demo. So this is my Excel file in 2016. So you can see over here, I have been connected to my local SQL database. And I have few records for accounts and opportunities in my database. So these are the two queries for account and opportunity. And this is my database from where I am importing the data. So this is one of the cool feature in Power BI that you can import data from different sources. So this is my query. Then moving on to my data model. So if when I go to my Power Pivot and click on manage, I can get the data model over here. So this is my data model for accounts and opportunity. You can have a look. In opportunity, I have few custom columns like year, month. Also, I have measures over here created, that is count of opportunities and total revenue. And if I go to the diagram view, you can see how these two tables are related with each other with the help of a relationship. So this is my data model. And finally, this is my Power View sheet. You can have a look over here. It's a sales dashboard and this is a revenue dashboard in Power View. So what we are going to do is basically we are going to import this Excel worksheet into the Power BI desktop tool. So to achieve this, I'll close this Excel file and open the Power BI desktop tool. So this is the Power BI desktop tool interface. I'll go to file, I'll click on import Excel workbook contents. So this is the file where we have our data model. I'll click start. So what it will do, it will start importing all the Power BI artifacts like the data model, calculated columns, the queries available in Excel 2013. So now you can see whatever measures, whatever calculated columns, whatever Power View reports we had in Excel 2016, so it's been imported to Power BI desktop tool. So we can have a look how it looks like. So this is how you can leverage the use of Power BI desktop tool to import the Power BI Excel file. Okay, so what's so special about this? So
Ashish, one of the things, one of the reasons you are using converting these Excel workbooks to Power BI Desktop is you're going to talk about it, but it's mainly to get more visualizations and more ability to do stuff. And we've done this recently for a couple of our clients in Europe as well, where we've migrated them from Excel workbooks to using the new Power BI Desktop. And I think Power BI Desktop continues to evolve to become the centerpiece of how we develop Power BI dashboards and reports. Power BI dashboards and reports.
yes, Anil, that's correct. You can use the new features in Power BI desktop tool. Like for instance, I'll change the visualizations over here. I'll change this bar chart to a tree map. So this is how you can leverage the use of Power BI desktop tool. Also over here, I can change this to a funnel chart to represent my opportunity in different stages. And you can see how after importing the data model, you have all the relationships maintained between this data model. When I go to my relationship tab, you can see over here the relationship as well as is imported. Also, you can see whatever calculated columns, whatever measures we had in Excel worksheet, those are imported in Power BI desktop tool with the help of a few clicks. So this is the beauty of Power BI.
Ashish, you said you have connected data source and local SQL database. Suppose in future I want to move this my database in Azure VM. That time I need to create this PBX file new.
No, Kailash. What you can do is, like for instance, I have my data source in local SQL database. Now tomorrow if you're migrating to an SQL database which is hosted on Azure VM, what you can simply do is you can go to edit queries and then you can click on advanced editor over here and you can see this query that I'm connected to a local host and to this database. So what you can do is you can change your connection to any other server name, like if it is Azure SQL database or any other else. So you can change with the help of this option. So no need to change. Only thing you have to keep in mind is your data structure, your database should match whatever fields you have so that you get the same report with the help of the data.
Okay, Ashish.
Okay, we'll move further. So we have seen how to import Excel Power BI artifacts. Now moving on to next, the new capabilities in Query Editor. So we'll be talking about two major features in Query Editor. First one is the extract query step and second one is the query group management. So what are these two features? So in case of extract query, you can use the facility of extracting the previous step from your base query and also you can duplicate your original query. So what's the use of this? You can so earlier it was like you have queries and you are reworking on the same queries again and again. So if in case you are stuck at some point or you fail to do any other action, so you need to import your data all again. But with the help of this feature, extract query, or with the help of duplicate query feature, you can keep a backup of your original query and you can start working on your subqueries. So that in case you are stuck, you can go back to your base query and you can start again. About the next feature, that is query group management. If you have a list of queries, you can group those particular query into a single group in which all the related queries will come together. So let's have a quick look with the help of a demo how these two things work. I'll go back to the data model which I have imported earlier in Power BI Desktop. We'll continue with that. I'll click on Edit Query. So this is the query editor section where I have two queries, that is accounts and opportunity. So what I'll do is first I'll create a duplicate copy for this query so that in case anything went wrong, I can go back to my original query and start working again. So I've created a duplicate copy for this query. Now I can apply filters on this query, like I want to view for hot waiting opportunities. Also, I can extract the previous query from this step. I can name this as original opportunity and I can hit OK. Or I can also filter, like this is my waiting for cold opportunities. I can rename it as opportunity cold. Similarly, I can filter it over here for hot opportunities and I can rename it as opportunity hot. So this is how you can leverage the use of extract queries by simply right clicking on the applied step, and you can extract the previous step and you can keep a backup of your queries, and also you can duplicate query over here. So this was a feature I was talking about. Second one is the query group management. So in this, what we are going to do is we'll create a new group. I'll simply right click on this tab. I'll click on new group. I'll give this group a name. So for now I can give a group as opportunity. So it will contain all the queries related to opportunity. So now I can move this query to my new group, that is opportunity group. So I'll simply right click over here and move to opportunity. So this is how I can create groupings between my queries so that you can easily manage the data. And if I have a list of queries, I don't need to search for queries where it is located. I can group and ungroup these queries so that they're managed well. Even I can ungroup this or I can delete this. But if you delete this query, the related queries will also get deleted.
Ashish, now you have just changed some of the query editor, you have did some changes. So does it affect on the data model?
Yes, Kailash. So like now we have created two new queries, that is opportunity cold and opportunity hot. So this will definitely be reflected in your data model as well. You can see how these queries are applying changes on your data model. If I go to my relationship tab, you can see over here how these are related with each other. Does anybody have questions so far? If you have any questions, you can type in the question box. Okay, we'll move further. Okay, so we'll talk about the Power BI new features. We'll focus on the updates which were introduced in the September month. So there were nearly 44 different features introduced by Microsoft Power BI. So we'll be having a look at some of the features in this demo session. So we have categorized the features into two different sections. One is the Power BI desktop and another one is the Power BI online. So first we'll focus on what are the new features in desktop tool, and then we'll move on to Power BI online. So let's start with the demo. So I'll go back to my report. So first one is the introduction of shapes. So you can see over here, so this is one of the new option introduced in Power BI. So like we use shapes in PowerPoint. So likewise, we also Power BI also introduced this option of shapes. So there are 5 shapes supported as of now. So you can take rectangle, you can select rectangle over here. So basically these shapes are used for the formatting of your report. So I'll format this title of my report so that I can fit into that shape. It looks much better with the border. Also, I can use some other shape, like I can use line. So I can use this line also. Or I can use another shape like oval. So what I can do is I can put this into the oval shape so that I can highlight this figure. So this is how it will look. I can highlight this figure.
So Ashish, while some of these features might seem minor upgrades, but from a developer standpoint, these are fairly important upgrades because it allows you to create good-looking dashboards and reports, which is going to be consumed by end users, whether it's for our internal use, because we use Power BI for everything, or for our clients. So all of these small tweaks are very critical in continually evolving Power BI desktop.
Yes, and definitely such small features makes the report more appealing to the end user. So these features are very important from visualization aspect. So you can continue to edit your report by using few of the shapes. So you can use line over here to distinguish between these two sections. Now another feature is how you can insert an image. So for example, you want to insert the logo of your company. You can do so. You can click on the image and can select this, and you can drag drop in the corner of the report. Similarly, I can copy the same image on my another report as well. Okay, so this is how you can use these two options. That is, first one is the shape and another one is the image. So moving on next. So one more feature introduced by Power BI is the search ability to search the field in the field pane. So earlier it was like we need to search for the fields by expanding this different tables and we need to search for the field. But with the help of this option, you can simply type over here and you can search for field. You can have a demo over here, for example, like I want to see the count of opportunity. So I can search count. So I'll get the required field. I can select this field. And also I can search for another field to create my new report. So this is a report for count of opportunity by pipeline phase. I can convert this to some other visualization like a funnel chart. So this is how you can search the field. So this makes the searching ability easier in Power BI desktop tool. Also, when you right click on this, there is an option to expand and collapse all these tables. So like I click on collapse, so it will collapse all the tables, and I click on expand, it will expand all the tables so that I can easily view all the fields from the table. So this is one of the feature introduced in the September update. Okay, so moving on next. So how we can format our visualizations in terms of data labels and in terms of color saturation. We'll have a look over here. So if I want to format this particular visualization, so what I can do is I'll select this visualization. I'll click on this symbol, switch on the data labels. So here is an option. You want to display your revenue figures in terms of different numbers like thousands, in terms of millions. Also, you can set the precision over here. Like you want to set the precision for 1, 2. So earlier these options developer used to do such changes in the data model, but with the introduction of these features, we can directly leverage this feature in your reporting visualization. So no need to do anything in your data model, just simply click the visualizations and start formatting your reports. So this is much easier as compared to earlier with the introduction of these features.
So again, Ashish, for a non-developer or a non-designer, this might not be very interesting, but these are such critical aspects of designing good quality reports and being able to do it fast. And we've been involved with Power BI since Power BI for Office 365, which was released in January 2014. We had to use SharePoint Online. The UI was not great. And to this day and age, when we can use PowerBI.com with Power BI Desktop, I think we've really come a long way.
Yes, Anil, definitely. So we'll continue formatting our report in terms of visualizations and colors. So you can see over here, you can change the colors of your visualizations as well. I'll click on this visualization and I can select the data color. I can select the custom color which I want. Like how you can select the color. So in case of count of opportunity by rating, so if you decide that you want to represent your cold opportunity with some other color, so like I would like to give cold opportunity as color as green, and for hot I would like to give color as maybe red, and for warm some light color I would like to select. So this is how you can customize colors. So earlier these features were not available in Power BI for Office 365, that is Excel 2013. So these are some of the great features based on user feedback and some other visualizations tool if you compare. So this is a tremendous improvement in Power BI desktop tool. So I'll continue formatting this.
Okay, so I guess while Ashish continues doing some formatting changes, if anybody has any questions, we are here. For everybody who's on the call today, I'm also going to be at the CRM and AX UG event in a couple of weeks. I'm also speaking at the Scribe Tech Tour, which is happening right before the CRM and AX UG events in Reno. It is on a Sunday, so Sunday is a good day to work. But yeah, this is the status so far. So Tim has a question. So Kailash, why don't you go ahead and Tim's question is, have you run into issues with the 10 GB limit for customers so far? So any thoughts on that?
Yeah, Anil, this new features is very cool features what we introduce.
No, no. The question is, have you run into any issues with the 10 GB limit for moving data back and forth?
So, so for Power BI Pro, we have a 10 GB limit, but right now, so as the data model in Power BI is compressing the data, so we haven't yet gone through that limit of 10 GB in Power BI Pro version. Okay, so we'll continue formatting the data labels. So next is how we can filter or report. So earlier there were three types of filters available. First one was a page level filter. Second one was a visualization level filter. So if I click on this particular visualization, you can see the filter over here. But there is one more filter introduced by Power BI, that is the report level filter. So what does this indicate? So if I select any field on this report level filter, it will apply to the whole page in my report. So right now I have two pages, two different pages. One is a sales dashboard and another one is a revenue dashboard. So this filter will be applied on both the pages. So I'll select here over here in report filter and I'll apply for the year 2015. So you can see over here, once I apply this filter on the report level, it will be applicable to both the pages. So this is one of the feature introduced by Power BI in this update. So earlier it was only the page level filter and the visualization level filter. So with the help of this option, you can filter across all the pages available in Power BI desktop. Okay, so one more update that I need to discuss over here is about the color saturation. So for example, this is one chart that is estimated revenue by month. So if I want to do some color saturation based on this chart, so what I can do is I can select the field over here and then I'll drag drop the field over here. So now you can see how I have used this feature of color saturation in terms of count of opportunities. So you can see the different shades of color. So a more darker shade represents more count of opportunities, well as on the other hand, the lighter the shade represents the less count of opportunities. So this is how you can use the color saturation feature. This was also introduced in this month of September updates in Power BI. So now you can see how we have created this report with the introduction of so many features in Power BI desktop tool. So now what we can do is we can publish this report to Power BI online. So this is another report. This is another feature available in Power BI where you can directly publish this report. So what I can do is I'll first save my report, which I have created over here. So I'll give this report a name, is sales report. I'll click on save. So now I have saved this report with the name as sales report, and now I can hit publish so that I don't need to log into my Power BI account. I'll directly click on publish over here and this report will be published to Power BI online. So on the first time you click on publish, you need to log in to your Power BI account with your credentials for Power BI. But since I have already logged in, earlier, so I'll directly click on publish and it will publish to my Power BI account. So now I can go to my Power BI online account and I can view this report. So this is the report which I have published a few minutes back. So you can see the star mark which indicates that it's a new report imported. So this is the report which we have published right now. So this is one of the feature which was introduced last month. So whatever changes you do over here, you simply click on publish and those changes are reflected back on your report in Power BI online. So you don't need to upload your report again and again. So you don't need to upload your report in Power BI. Simply hit the publish tab and you are done.
All right. So far so good. I see that you like the color yellow, which is not my choice, but whatever works for you, whatever works for your client. So what's up next, Ashish? What are we looking at next?
Yeah, we'll have some more features in.
Okay. So, all right. So, why don't you go ahead with the next slide? I think Ashish is running into some audio issues again, unfortunately. See your screen. See your screen.
I'm starting with this now.
Connection has been lost. Reconnect. Reconnect.
Should I switch off?
Disconnect and reconnect. Reconnect. Now see if it works. Right. So if anybody has any other questions, again, I think Ashish has run into some connectivity issue. All right, Ashish, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Anil. So we have seen the new features for Power BI Desktop. We have also seen how we can directly publish your report directly into Power BI online account. So once you are done with this, here is my report in Power BI Online. So next is what are the new features in Power BI Online. So now we can create your own dashboard in Power BI. So you can start pinning your visualizations. So I can pin this visualization. So this is the new feature introduced in Power BI Online. So earlier, Power BI used to pin the visualization to the default dashboard which you have viewed earlier. So with the help of this feature, it helps you to select which dashboard you want to pin the visual to. So for example, I want to pin this dashboard to an existing dashboard, or I want to pin this to a new dashboard. So I'll create a new dashboard as sales dashboard, and I'll click pin. Also, there is an option to use destination theme or retain theme. So sometimes you are creating your report in some another theme. So by default, Power BI has is different themes. So there is two option over here for theme. You can use either the destination theme or you can retain the current theme. Okay, so I've created a new dashboard named as sales dashboard, and I would like to pin this visualization to my new dashboard, that is sales dashboard. So I have pinned this. You can check it over here. Once again, I'll go back to my report. Similarly, I can pin the other visualizations as well. And this is how I can create my own dashboard in Power BI. So this was about my first report. I'll go back to my second report. I can pin over here in sales dashboard. So as you can see over here, if I use the destination theme, I'll get some different colorings. And if I use continue to retain the current theme, so I'll get some different color saturations. So I can pin this figures as well. And this is done. I can view my dashboard over here. This is sales dashboard, which comes out from database directly into Power BI desktop and now on Power BI online. So you can start analyzing your data. You can start taking some critical decisions about your data and your company. This is how you can create a beautiful dashboard in Power BI desktop. And yes, definitely Power BI is continuously evolving over a month, and we'll have some more webinars in upcoming months, and we'll showcase you some more features. So moving on to the next and last slide.
Ashish, sometime before you have shown some Power BI desktop features. Now I have uploaded that data model on the online service and I have to create my own copy on online service. So will these features are available on online service also?
Yes, Kailash. Not all the features are available on online service. For example, I'll show you one report. So I'll go to my data set to show you the features. So we have talked about report level filters. So we do have, so Power BI do have this feature in Power BI Online as well. So you can see over here, you have the option of report level filter. Also, you can search for different fields, like you can search for the field as rating. So it will give you the field. And also you can adjust the width and height, or you can adjust the dimension of your report. For example, this is my report, which is dynamic one. If I want to select fit to page, this is how you'll see your, so this is static, it won't change. But if I select the dynamic report, it keeps on changing. So when I expand this, so it will dynamically adjust the width and height of the report. So not all the features are available online, but some of the features which are available in desktops are available online as well. So moving on to the next and last part of today's webinar, that is about scheduling data refresh using the Power BI Personal Gateway for on-premise data sources. Because there is no need of gateway for online data sources, but we do require a gateway for on-premise data sources. So this is the overall architecture for scheduling refresh in terms of on-premise data sources. You can see on the left-hand side, you have on-premise data sources like flat files. It can be a text file, a CSV file. You can have an on-premise database. You can have data from different folders. So what it does is Power BI desktop tool, you develop your report, and on the same machine you have your Power BI personal gateway. So this personal gateway will help you pull your data from on-premise data source to Power BI online.
Okay, so it looks like Ashish has run into some audio issues again. We apologize for that. But Ashish, why don't you go ahead and show this? In case your connection restores, then you can talk. Otherwise, we just go through your demo. All right. Disconnect and reconnect. Disconnect and reconnect. All right, so Ashish, why don't you go ahead to the next.
Sorry for the interruption. Okay, we'll go ahead with, we are discussing about Power BI Personal Gateway. So these are the data sources supported. So you can refresh flat files, different on-premise data sources. So we'll have a look on how we can refresh MySQL database with the help of Power BI Personal Gateway.
So it looks like Ashish's connection again. He's been in and out today. I don't know why. Maybe the demo gods don't like you much. All right, go ahead.
Okay, can you hear? Yeah. Okay, let's start. So we'll see how we can set up personal gateway for MySQL database. So this is my dashboard for MySQL, which I'll demonstrate with the help of a simple example. So this is a dashboard for employee salary by name, and this is my MySQL database. So this is my database employee details, and this one is my table employee underscore salary. You can have a look. This is my simple Power BI desktop file where I'm connecting from get data so to my MySQL database. So you need to enter the credentials of your database credentials, username and password. So once you are connected, you'll get all the required field and you can create your report. So once I'm done with the report, I'll upload it to Power BI Online. So what all things is needed is first one is the Power BI Personal Gateway. So this is my Power BI Personal Gateway. I need to install and configure this gateway and you will get a message like you are good to go. So once this is done, I'll see that my database is connected to my local host. So now what I'll do is I'll insert one value in this database and I'll see how it refreshes. So for now, I'll insert one record. So I'll write an employee name. I can write as Mihir Kadam. Then I'll enter salary of that particular employee. So I'll 70,000. I'll click go. Yep, so I have inserted one record in my SQL database, that is Mihir Kadam having a salary 70,000. So now let's see how this gateway helps me to refresh this on-premise MySQL data. So I need to schedule this data set before configuring the refresh. So I click on schedule refresh. So I'll check over here that my personal gateway is online. Then I expand my data source.
So Ashish, as I understand, in most scenarios, for most customers, small, medium, or enterprise, our data sources are usually sitting behind a firewall. And my understanding is that your personal gateway acts as a bridge to sort of move that data between your data source and to your Power BI desktop without having to open up any new ports on your firewall. So it's either the standard ports which are typically open is port 80 for HTTP traffic and port 443 for HTTPS. So that's my understanding that the gateway allows you to continue working without opening your firewall.
Yes, Anil, that's definitely correct. So Power BI Personal Gateway acts as a bridge between these two to help your data move from your source to Power BI Online. Okay, so once we have set up this gateway and we have entered the credentials for my database, so I can now click over here and refresh now. Can see over here, this is my initial dashboard. Now I have added one record as Mihir Kadam with his salary. So let's see how it updates with the help of a gateway. So it will take a few seconds to refresh. Oh, that's done. So you can see how you get this value on a dashboard with the help of this gateway. And it helps refresh my on-premise MySQL database. This is how you can use the Power BI Personal Gateway to refresh your on-premise data sources. Okay, so that's all for today's webinar. So any questions so far?
So Ashish, a good webinar. My understanding is your next webinar is coming up with a further deep dive on a lot of new features that are coming, that have already come out. Just a couple of days back, you said 44 new features came out. I think this was over the weekend. So Power BI team was very busy at Microsoft, and there's going to be some more new features coming out in October as the Power BI team continues to release more features. And so I think your next webinar is scheduled tentatively for the 29th of October. But for everybody on this session, look forward to our invite coming to your email inbox pretty soon. Also look forward to our newsletter that also comes out on 1st October. Office 365, more videos on CRM, some videos on AX, and we'll see you guys soon. Thank you so much.